Good Sunday evening, everybody. My name is James Cronenberger. Ever since I was a child, I listened pretty much to Christian music, Christian contemporary music, and I was raised on that. And it's uplifting. Lately, I've been watching a lot of Christian movies. I get Faith and Family every month, which has only movies with faith. And also Tubi has a lot of good Christian movies. And I try to put in my mind what is healthy and what is good. You know, I don't need to hear all the cussing and see all the sex that are in the secular movies. And I'm very proud of the way I was raised. Even with myself doing things wrong when I got older, I was raised right. You know, we learned to respect our parents. We didn't disrespect them like you see nowadays, what's happening in society. It's like the values have changed drastically from what it used to be years ago. You know, and it brings back my faith. You know, I accepted Christ at the age of 13. And I remember that night. Pastor Bueller was the pastor at the church. And, oh boy, I was 13 years old, so that had to be early 70s or so. And my faith, I never stopped having my faith. You know, my faith is what makes me today. Even like I just said, with all the mistakes and all the wrong things I did in my life, my faith was there. I just wasn't in fellowship with God at the time. You know, I let addictions and temptations overcome myself. And, you know, but I'm relying back on my faith. And we act out what we put in our mind. If we listen and to wholesome things, music, TV, then that could be a positive influence on us. You know, you listen to some of the rap songs, a lot of cussing in them. And I know they talk about their lives a lot, but we could go without all the cussing that is happening in music and, you know, some of the sexual stuff that's happening in our music today. You know, we just need to start listening to something healthy. One guy I've always liked was Michael W. Smith. I was a fan of his since the 70s. A lot of people don't know he overdosed on drugs and almost died. That's when he accepted Christ shortly after that. He was in his teens, early teens. I don't even know if he was 18 yet. And I didn't know that until I heard him talk about his testimony. That's pretty awesome on how people can overcome. I have friends that are addicted to drugs, alcohol, sex, and even gambling. And they too can overcome. That's right, all addictions are the same, but they hurt people all differently. Some worse than others. But we can't say a person's a bad person because they have an addiction. What it is they're powerless over that addiction at the time. But I have a problem when people say higher power. You know, it could be a person, it could be a chair, it could be a desk. But it's really God. God's the only one that can change any of us. You know, it's not any ordinary higher power because there's nobody higher than God. And we need to rely on him a little bit more than we do as a nation. I think now we're going to get back to more morality than we did the last 4 years. I think, you know, you're going to see God more involved in our nation than he has been in the past. So we need to continue to pray for our leaders, you know, and the people that are in authority over us, even if we don't agree with them. There was one lady on Facebook that professed to be a Christian, and you know, I had so much respect for me, but I shared, I made a comment on a post about Donald Trump, a positive comment, and she went off me, blocked me, you know, and everything. And people like that, you really wonder where they stand with God. You know, it was, I believe, over the issue of abortion because I'm pro-life. I believe God is the creator of life, and all life is sacred from the moment of conception to natural death. And she had a problem with that. And you know, it even says in the Bible that he knew every hair on our head, and he formed us in the womb. Do we have the right to destroy what God has created? I don't think so. You know, and I know I'm all over on this video, but there's a few things I wanted to touch base. But the most important thing I wanted to share was about wholesome music and TV. And you're not going to be able to find too many positive TV shows these days. You know, so many of them have violence, or a lot of profanity in them, or a lot of sexual stuff in there, and our kids are watching it. And we have to really start making some changes in our lives so we don't have to be subjected to the filth that is on today. You know, I start every day in prayer. I do need to read the Bible more often, I admit that. But I start every day over in prayer. And in 2020, when I almost died from a major stroke and two cardiac arrests, when I woke up out of my coma, I remember one thing. I begged God that he would reconcile me with my son. And he did with my oldest one. My oldest son has been watching my videos for a couple years, I guess. And one day I put the email in there, and I got an email from him. And I emailed him back. I finally went down for his birthday, got to meet him for the first time in 30-some years. It was really awesome. My ex-wife, and now I pray for my youngest son, that somehow something positive will come out of that. Okay, everybody, enjoy your Sunday. Until next time, this is James Cronenberger.